Oh man, I wonder who made this. Who made it? Who fucking made Armello? Was it English people? No, it was fucking Australians. Australians made this. That's amazing. Oh my god, Australia. It's fucking Australian game. What? What? Oh my god, it's Armello. Fucking grab your dice. Grab your dog. Grab your rabbit, I guess. Yeah, you can grab your frog too, but there's no real frogs in this game. So what is Armello, you say? Armello is one of those games where you just throw dice. Just throw dice. Just throw dice. My name's Wulfried, and welcome to Horseapples. So what are you doing, Armello? I don't know. Kill a king. Become a queen. Fight some birds, maybe? Yeah, I guess. So the main premise of Armello is that the king's gone crazy, and you essentially belong to one of the 4 animal clans, and then you have to topple the government. Pretty much. And the way this is done is your basic board game, turn-based, roll dice, stab player, throw cards, get money, get gold, win game? Yeah, pretty much. So in Armello, there's 4 basic ways to play the game. You either kill the king, you either win by diplomacy, you become even more evil than the king, which is my favorite, but it's one of the hardest ways to win the game. And there's give him 4 eggs, which is the worst, because why would the king want eggs? He's a fucking lion. So you play one of 8 characters. You got your wolf clans. You got the male or female variant of each clan. So the wolf clan, these guys are essentially all about combat. They'll usually have higher fight stats, higher health stats, but lower stats in the wit and mage spirit, I think it's called. So with these guys, you kind of want to just go around killing everybody, even the king. So the next clan is the rat clan, which is the more stealthy way to play the game. These guys have higher wit levels than other races, and they're usually revolved around placing traps or setting disadvantages to other races. And they usually follow either the Kingslayer path or the Rot Slayer path. Well, actually, any race can be whatever victory. Give me the fucking bear and win by rot. So the bears, they have usually high body. These guys tend to be just about surviving. Just getting the eggs and giving them to the king. Pretty boring, the bears. And then there's the rabbits. Rabbits are usually all-rounders, but they tend to look for exploration. They look for more items to equip, more prestige ways to do it. One thing I really like about this game is that any of the races can essentially do any of the 4 different types of victories. Sure, some of the races are more suited to specific victories, but it doesn't stop you from playing the bear and going for a diplomacy victory, or playing the rat and going for a Kingslayer victory. Like in most board games, everybody takes their turn, one by one. The game is divided into day and night segments, which both have their advantages and disadvantages. But the key one being is that every turn for day and night, the king takes 1 hit of damage and 1 encroaching rot. So he will constantly be taking damage and rot every single turn of the game, which kind of forces players into a certain speed when they play the game. So a longer game will have the king at higher health, while a shorter game will have the king at lower health. So you kind of want to figure out how to play the victory within the first 2 or 3 rounds of day and night. Because essentially what's going to happen is that most of the things that win the game happened right at the end of the last 3 turns. So some of the things that I really like about Armello is, one, of course, the setting. You don't see many games nowadays with anthropomorphic characters, which is a shame because this is the kind of stuff that I know a lot of 90s kids grew up with as well. Stuff like Power Rangers had a bunch of anthropomorphic villains that would constantly fight them. There was stuff like, in Australia there was the Ferals, there was Blinky Bill, there was Mr. Pencil Head, which doesn't really count as fucking anthropomorphism, but whatever. I also really like the RNG behind everything. Every time you play it basically feels different compared to the last time you tried it. So if you played the Wolf and you wanted to do the Rot Victory, then maybe next time you can play the Prestige Victory. Yeah, I love the art style of it. Just everything feels kind of storybook and refreshing. You could feel the character personalities without them actually having any personalities. So you kind of get the feeling that the Thane from the Wolf Clan is kind of like an upstart prince who's trying to find out what's going on with his clan, and they kind of back him up as like, oh, you're the prince, you should go ahead and do prince things and fight for a kingdom. The rabbit girl feels like she's just kind of adventurous. She doesn't know where she is as a princess yet. I don't know, I could be saying this all out of my ass, but that's the kind of feel that I get from these characters. And the whole game feels lived in that way, because every single tile that you walk onto has a name. So even if it's just a plain, for some reason this plain is called Coward's Valley. I don't know why. Maybe cowards live there. But you know, it's these little minor touches that make a game feel unique, and it sets aside from, oh, it's no longer just Town A. Oh, hi Town A, I guess you're a thing. You know, it feels more like, okay, I walked into Coward's Valley. Fuck you, I'm not a coward. And I don't know, it's nice, it's a nice touch. Australians, you know? So some of the unfortunate things about this game is that the difficulty curve is kind of a little bit too heavy. Especially if you're new to the whole Dungeons & Dragons board dice roll kind of thing. Because if you play this game at face value, it kind of feels like you're just going through the motions. So each time you take a turn, you roll dice, you pick up items, you do whatever. But the game itself doesn't play that way. Of course it seems that way because there's a lot of things that aren't shown to you right away. I mean, the tutorial does a well enough job to establish how to win, but it doesn't show you anything beyond just the victory points. So it's like, oh, you can win by killing the king, and you're like, okay, that's cool. How do I kill the king? It's like, I don't know, stab him. It's one of the bigger faults of this, where you have to really want to learn how to play the game. You can't just play the game and expect the game to play for you. Like a lot of games out there, when you do something like the tutorial or the basics of the game, I know handholding is a very common thing in a lot of games, and I don't say that Armello should handhold, but there are a lot of small cards, and there's a lot of details, there's a lot of numbers being thrown around at every single turn of the game. So a little bit more leeway in how the information is presented would have been nicer. So the question is, would I recommend this game to other people? Yes, if you are a fan of the kind of party style dungeon RPG games. Stuff like D&D, of course, or stuff like Red Dragon's Inn is another really fun game. Betrayal on House of the Hill is also a fun party game. Not to say that you can't play this game alone. It's quite fun versing the AI, but they are quite stupid, and they are quite single-minded. The AI in this game is not the brightest, especially when they attack the king, and they have no stats towards any way of victory, they just want to kill him for no reason. It's like, hey, I'm gonna stab you with a wooden sword. And the king mauls their face off. You're like, ah, cool. I guess that happened. But, yeah, play this game if you have, it's a very niche game. You know, not everyone will be into the whole, board RNG kind of roles. And it is very an acquired taste. It's like eating the avocado. If you like avocados, you might like Armello. There you go. Easy enough. Alright. So, thanks for listening into another Horseapples. I hope you enjoyed it.